Hello and welcome to another Tabletop Ramblings Middle-earth strategy battle game battle report. Today's battle pictures the might of the Fiefdoms against the survivors of Laketown. Leading the forces of the Fiefdoms is Imrahil. He is riding an armoured horse and he's got a shield and a lance. And with him are 6 Knights of Dol Amroth, all with shields and lances. Riding to war with his prince is Forlong the Fat. He is riding a horse and he has with him 6 Knights of Dol Amroth on foot, 6 Blackroot Vale archers with spear, and 1 clansman of Lamedon. And that is 500 points of the Fiefdoms. Leading the survivors of Laketown to war is Bard the Bowman. He is atop his horse and is wearing armour. He has 15 militia with him, 5 with shield, 5 with bow, and 5 with spear and shield. He's also accompanied by Sigrid and Tilda and Alfred the Counsellor. For those of you that don't know, Alfred the Counsellor has a special rule where he can spend his will to try and give a friendly survivors of a Laketown hero a point of might. On a 2+, he gives them a point of might, but on a 1, he steals a point. The 2 sisters, Sigrid and Tilda, have synergies with Bard and Bane. They allow them to have +1 fight value if either of them are within range of 1 of those sisters, and they get a free heroic combat each turn as well if they're in range of both of the sisters. And speaking of Bane, he is leading a little warband to war as well. He has with him 2 spear and shield, 2 with shield and 2 with bow. And then finally there is a captain. He has a shield. He's also got a pick and a spear, and he is accompanied by 4 with shield, 4 with spear and shield, and 4 with bow. And that is 500 points of the survivors of Laketown. Today's battle is Storm the Camp. Both of our forces are set up in opposite corners of the battlefield. The objective of the game is quite simple. It is to hold your own camp and take the enemy camp. The battlefield is set up and is quite open. Lots of open ground for the forces to clash, with some ruins in the centre to fight around. Each side is vying to crush their opponent, but also to take their camp. The camp is taken if you have more of your models in it than enemy models at the end of the game. Taking the enemy camp is worth 3 victory points. And if you're able to take the enemy camp and hold on to your own, then it is 6 victory points. You also get 1 victory point for wounding the enemy leader, and 3 for killing them. And you also get 1 for breaking the enemy, and 3 if you break them and are unbroken. As always, the victory points are counted up at the end of the game. This game ends once one force has been reduced to 25%. Deployment, as you can see, is within 12 inches of your corner, which is also the area of the camp, and both forces are already deployed. So let's crack on with first turn priority. For this battle, we're going to say that the Fiefdoms are good, riding to the aid of the true king of men, whereas the survivors of Laketown will be playing the role of evil, as Bard is taking his kids to war to witness a massacre. So they will be evil. And evil will be using red dice, and good will be using green. Let's roll for first turn priority. And it goes to good and the forces of the Fiefdoms. Is it Fiefdoms or Fiefdoms? Comment below, and please do like and subscribe as well. Thank you. End of Fiefdom's move, and they have just shimmied up with the rock and ruin formation between them and the enemy bows, leaving just one lonely clansman to guard the camp. End of the first turn movement for the survivors of Laketown, and Bard and his captain have moved up with the main body of infantry along with Bane, while the archers hang to the flanks to provide supporting fire. Defending the camp are just 2 archers and Alfred. Alfred is going to hang back because his only use in this game is using Dubious Counsel, which we should have done, and we'll do that now on camera. And that is 3 2+s, so Bard has 6 points of might. That should have been done before first turn priority, but we got a little bit carried away with ourselves, so we'll just do that. With both forces heading towards each other, it's time for turn 2 priority. It goes this time to the survivors of Laketown. End of turn 2 movement for the survivors of Laketown. They have just moved up, with Bard moving half so that he can get some shots, and he's moving behind his infantry. The archers down here have moved full to get into position for future turns, while up here they've gone a bit more conservative. The archers have just moved half, ready to protect this slightly weaker flank. Prince Imrahil and Forlong, all of the cavalry, are going off for the weaker side. They're going to run the gauntlet of those bows, and they are going to charge next turn. The infantry have just pivoted to get some shots off and await the slaughter that is Bard and his host. Imrahil hoping there that he's going to be able to turn one flank and come to rescue his beleaguered infantry. Still early days, let's see what happens. First off though, it is the shooting phase, and it's evil priority. The survivors have priority, so the 4 archers are going to shoot straight into Imrahil to try and take him off his horse. He's leading the charge from the front, which is brave but risky. Oh, and it pays off as every single archer misses. That is a very poor first volley. Over on the bottom half of the board, the Laketown militia there have moved too far to shoot and are out of range, but these Blackwood Vale archers are able to take some shots just at the few on the end. They hit on 3s, they've moved, so it's 4s. Ooh, a good number of hits there. 4 hits. They're only strength 2, these bows, so they will be needing 6s, even against those lowly defense 5. No wounds there. The archers on both sides failing to wound. So with no combats, we'll go straight into turn 3 priority. And once again, it goes to evil and the survivors of Laketown. Survivors of Laketown move, and they have moved back out of charge range. The archers staying still for some shots. Bard has come to support this side to face off against Imrahil, and he's only moved half. Here, Bane is leading this block here to face down against the enemy infantry, and the archers have moved full in order to get shots next turn. If they moved half, they would have still been out of range. We'll come back after the Fiefdoms move. End of the Fiefdoms move, and all of the mounted units, Forlong, Imrahil and the Knights, have moved up. They're just out of charge range from the infantry, but they, with their superior move on horseback, will be able to plough forward straight into those infantry next turn, assuming that they survive the incoming volley of arrows. The infantry for Fiefdoms have just stayed still, ready to take some shots. And then, just in case there's any arrows going to come his way through the course of the fight, this clansman is hiding behind the tent. So the bowmen up there are going to take shots at Imrahil. Ooh, 2 hits, because they've not moved this time, hitting on 4s. So horse or rider. 1 on the rider, 1 on the horse. So it's an armoured horse. It's 6s to wound the horse. It's a 4, the lance there in the way. I thought that was the 6, but it's just a 4. And then 6s by 4s on Imrahil. It's cocked. It's another 4. Those arrows fail to find the mark, and Imrahil is fine. Finally, for the survivors, there's Bard, and he is going to take a shot at one of the knights. He's hitting on 4s. Oh, but it's a 2. He does get to make an extra shot every time he hits, but it's not worth 2 points of might. Even though he's got 6 might from Dubious Counsel, it's not worth that spend. We then come to the 6 archers here, and they are going to take shots just straight in to the infantry. They haven't moved, hitting on 3s. Oh, that's not even very good, that. Only 3 hits. They did better when they moved last time. 6s to wound. Oh, and there is a wound. We'll take off one of them, and that is first blood. The end of turn 3. This is how we're looking. Both camps in their own respective sides' possession, and the lines about to clash up here. Let's roll for turn 4 priority. And it goes to the forces of good. In Fiefdom's move, the cavalry have charged forward. Imrahil has ploughed in, and all along the line the knights have gone in, with Forlong the Fat taking the flank, exposed, quite vulnerable there to being countercharged, but he has got strike, and he's just going to hope that he can tank for a couple of turns while the cavalry mince through those infantry. And down here the infantry have advanced half speed so that they can still take shots, but also they're slowly moving towards the camp just in case the cavalry fail to do their work. Survivors of Laketown have just charged where they were able. There weren't too many that were not locked in here. 1 extra managed to get in on Imrahil. And then here, importantly, the captain looped around Forlong because he had no control zone as he was in combat, and has charged that knight. And then Bard has gone in on Forlong. And the 2 kids have just come up to watch Bard do his thing and butcher some elderly gentleman on a horse. Father of the Year there. We've also then got Bane, and he is charging up full tilt towards the shield wall of the Fiefdoms, and the archers have moved half to provide some supporting fire and to put further pressure on the enemy camp. There are some bow shots. There's the 6 shots here going into the enemy archers, as the militia without shields are only defense 4. So the Fiefdom's archers will be wounding on 5s. They need to hit first though. They've moved, so they're hitting on 4s. Oh, that's not good. Very poor shooting. Only 2 hits, needing 5s. No wounds there. That is very poor work. The 5 unharmed archers are going to take shots into the archers behind that shield wall there. And they have moved, so they're hitting on 5s and all miss. Some very, very poor shooting this game. Let's go into the combat phase. In the combat phase, the Prince of the Fiefdoms, Imrahil, is going to call a heroic combat. He's against 3, so it's high risk, but if he can pull it off, he could really do some damage up there to make up for the huge fail that is Forlong the Fat, who can't strike. I mean, just checked, he only has strength, so he is in a lot of trouble. Bard is already a higher fight value. He's 5 base, but up to 6 because of his 2 kids giving their shouts of support. Go on, Dad, deck him, he's old. So he's fairly screwed, which is unfortunate, as he was bait. And here, the captain is going to go brave. He is going to call a heroic combat as well. So there's quite a few heroic combats. We'll roll off to see who goes first. It goes to evil. So the first one we'll do will be this captain here. It's a non-charging knight against the captain. And the captain is the red, and then the green is the knight. Oh, it's a draw. And bizarrely, the knight has a higher fight value than that captain. The captain is 3 base, up to 4 for being near the Father of the Year Bard, but within 12 of Imrahil, the knight has +1 fight value. At least I think it's 12, let's double check. Alas, it is the stand fast and the banner effect that Imrahil has at 12-inch range. It is only 3 inches for his +1 fight value. So the knight is fight 4, which means it is a draw. So it's a roll off, 1, 2 or 3, it's evil, which is Laketown, and a 4+, it goes to the forces of good, and it's a 4+. The captain's heroic combat does not go off, and the knight gets to make a strike. He's wounding on 6s, he's not got his lance bonus because he didn't charge. It's a 5, so close. The captain backs away, and that knight has done what he needed to do. He's not died. The next heroic combat is Imrahil on the charge against 3 stabbing archers. Imrahil in green, he gets the 6. He's won the fight, he's done the easy bit. He needs to kill all of these to proceed. He's strength 4 against defense 4, and he has a lance, so it is 3s to wound, double strikes on each. So the first one, dead on a 3. Second, dead. And then the last one is also dead. He's killed all 3 of those archers and will now get to move again. Having just measured it, the entertainment is about to happen. He can move 2 up, 8 round, and hit one of the kids. So Bard's heroic combat there against Forlong the Fat needs to go off. Otherwise, one of his kids is gonna die. So he's able to move up, as we've just pre-measured, and he's skirting all those control zones straight into Sigrid and or Tilda, whichever of the kids that is. So then after that very, very bold move there, it is Forlong against the very angry Bard. Bard has the fight value, so we'll let Forlong set the bar. He's got 2 attacks. He gets a 6. That's not bad. So we've got Bard's 3 attacks. Will he get a 6? He does. He gets the 6. He's won the fight. Now, Forlong's not trapped, so Bard is going to be hard pressed to kill him. Should definitely not have done the captain's one first. That was definitely getting too cocky there, trying to let Bard break through and smash into the guys from behind, because honestly I didn't think Imrahil was going to kill 3 archers, forgetting there how lethal he is with his lance. So we'll do that chap's attack, a 5. Oh, I don't think that's going to be a wound. I think he is defense 6. We'll double check that in a second. We'll just roll Bard's first. Bard does 1 wound. We'll just double check if that 5 would be enough. So Forlong is defense 6. The 5 then from that warrior is not quite enough. And Bard, even though he's got the might to turn that 3 into a wound, is unable to kill him outright because he has 3 wounds, 1 fate Forlong. So Bard's heroic combat has failed. Forlong has tanked off the attacks there of Bard and the warrior, which leaves now Imrahil to slaughter whichever kid that is. That is the younger one. I believe that is Tilda. This is going to be an interesting couple of turns as Bard goes into a frenzy. We'll come back to that combat and we'll start off up here. We'll do the 1 archer against the charging knight. It's 6s all around, but the knight wins it on fight value and slaughters there on the 5. Needing just 4s against these archers because of the +1 on the charge with the lance. We then have 2 on the charging knights 2. Ooh, and this time not so good, but as we've said, it's a 12-inch banner. Will the banner make the difference? No, so they are able to make strikes needing a 6. They don't kill the knight, and the knight backs away. We then have the next fight here. It's another 2 on 2. Oh, and again it goes to the survivors, but the banner does nothing. 6s to kill. No, again that knight backs away. And then knock him forward. It is 4 on 2. Weight of dice here. Survivors are hoping to just bring some horses down. Again they win the fight, but again there's the Imrahil banner. No, this time there's 4 attempts at a 6. Can they get it? No. Still not able to bring one of these armoured knights down. We then have a 4 on 1 here. Another beleaguered knight. Can he do it? Yes, he's won, but Bard has his own 12-inch banner effect, and that is a better banner. Can Imrahil's do the same? No, it can't. 4, again looking for a 6, and this time they get it. A knight goes down, and there we have the infantry fights, leaving just charging Imrahil against defenceless child. 1 unarmed attack, which is -1 against Imrahil. Imrahil wins there on the 6, and he's got double strikes, wounding on nothing at all, and he has killed her. She does actually have fate, although I think those 2s are actually wounds, and that is at least 3, and she is dead. So now Bard will do everything in his power to kill Imrahil. That was probably not the brightest thing for Imrahil to do, but it's hard to resist. So this is the board at the end of turn 4, 5, I've already lost track, I believe 4. The knights have
smashed into the lines of the survivors of Laketown and have broken through, with Imrahil getting behind the baggage train and killing one of the innocents. The survivors didn't take as many casualties as you'd expect from a full Fiefdoms charge, and they are getting ready to counter. Let's go into turn 5 priority.
And it's a draw, so this time it goes to Bard. So straight away, Fall on the Fat is going to use a point of might to call a heroic move. And the captain on the box is going to be calling a heroic move of his own to try and counter. So it's a roll off, 1, 2 or 3, it's evil, which is survivors of Laketown. 4 plus Forlong gets it. And it's Forlong. That is going to be very, very important there for the cavalry charge. After the heroic move, the knights have managed to tie up all of the front line, with Forlong getting on the captain, Bard just being tied up, and then all along the line they've charged. But importantly, Imrahil is on one of the daughters. We'll come back after the survivors of Laketown have moved. End of turn 5 movement, and this is how the table is shaping up. We've seen already the heroic combat up there and the charges that have happened. Then all the spearmen have come off, they've tagged the knight up at the top, and importantly they have dogpiled in on Imrahil. They are going to try and bring down the prince. Here the archers moved half to try and take shots, but the forces of the Fiefdoms, that big shield wall, have charged instead of taking bow fire and taking shots. They are going to rely now on martial skill. That is all of the movement. There are just a couple of shots which we'll go into now. With the angle that these have managed to get out to, these 3 archers here are going to take a shot on that exposed Blackroot Vale archer. Hitting on on not that. They are hitting on 5s because they've moved. That's 2 1s and a 3. So that is all of the shooting. Let's get stuck straight into the combats. Start of the fight phase, and Bard is calling a heroic combat. It's not free because one of the daughters is dead, but if it goes off, it's worth that point of might to trap Imrahil. To prevent that, Fall on the Fat is also going to call. He's going to have to try and kill a captain for it to go off, but it's worth that point of might. And Imrahil is also going to call a heroic combat, because if he's able to kill that daughter before Bard gets in, then Bard will lose the fight value buff and Imrahil will be a higher fight value, which is a 50-50, it'll go off, but if it does, it's just the same as a strike, and he's also going to be able to try and stop himself being trapped. So we'll roll off to see who is going first. Oh, and it is Imrahil! So he's going to do that fight first. The Imrahil against a horde fight. Imrahil's got the fight value. Can he get the 6? He does! He has won that fight. So the first of his double strikes is going to be against the king, and that 6 is easily enough. That has dropped Bard's fight value to 5 now. That's big, as he's now the same as Forlong and less than Imrahil now. So against him, needing 3s, another dead. Can he get all 4? That chap, ooh, 3s. That is not enough. He needs, oh, what does he need? He is strength 4 on 5, which is 5s, and then with the lance it's 4s. He's going to use his last point of might to kill him. Needing 4s on these. No, it's not paid off there. And he backs away. It was far too stupid to go for that. But Imrahil went for it anyway. That was close, but no cigar. Imrahil has knocked over that warrior there, but didn't quite manage to kill all 4. The next heroic combat is Bard, and he is fighting against the 1 knight. He's got 3 attacks. He has charge, but he's against cavalry, so he doesn't get the extra attack. Oh dear, that is a too high. It's only a 1 from the knight, but he has got the banner reroll for being near Imrahil, which takes it to a 5. Now Bard will have to spend 3 points of might to win. It's just not worth it. Not now that he doesn't have the fight value advantage on anyone. It is just too much might to spend, which means Bard backs away, and now the charging knight gets to make strikes against his horse. 3 points of might to protect the horse. It'll leave Bard with just 1, but he's screwed on foot. Ooh. What should he do? Comment below if you think he should spend the 3 might or not. We're going to leave it up to a 50-50 roll. On a 1, 2 or 3, he's going to spend 3 might. On a 4+, he is going to allow the knight to risk his horse. It's a 4+, so that he's not going to spend the might. The knight there is going to make a single strike against Bard's horse. He's got a lance, so he is wounding that horse on 4s. Oh, and it's the 3. Bard not spending the might there was the right call. Well done, Big Blue Dice. The knight does not kill the horse, but also Bard's heroic doesn't go off. The next heroic combat then is Forlong against the captain, and the captain is going to shield. Captain with 4 dice. Oh, but he loses there to Forlong's 6. The captain got a 6 as well. He tried his best, but not enough against Forlong. Forlong has the War Lance, so he is +1 to wound, and he's also re-rolling 1s. He's strength 5, so he's wounding on 5s, but that's down to 4s. Oh, and he absolutely slaughters that captain there. That is brutal there from Forlong the Fat. And then he's just going to potter straight in onto Bard. We'll come back to that fight though, and we'll do these ones first. So we'll start off, we have a 2-on-1, but he's 2 with his charge, and he wins there. He's got the 6, he's got the fight value. So the first chap is dead, and the second is also dead. 2 militia fall. That is good for the cavalry, not so good for Bard. He needs as many guys to stay alive around him, as these cavalry have made short work of his friends, and he is in trouble now. We'll do this fight here. It's another 2-on-2. They're not going to shield, they're going to risk it. Oh, and it potentially pays off, although they do have the banner. Yes, so it has paid off. Needing 6s to kill. No. And he backs away. We then have a 1-on-1. Is he going to shield? No, he's going to stab. Fortune favours the bold. Oh, it's paying off so far. Imrahil's banner effects. No. So this is 6s re-rolling 1s. A 4, slap bang in the middle. And the knight backs away. We then have a 1-on-1 at the top. The knight did not charge, so it's just a 1-on-1. And it goes to the militia on a 3. Can he do it? No, if only he'd stabbed. Oh, if he'd stabbed, would he have got the 6? No, he wouldn't. That would have been cruel there to find that out. So we then come down to this big block of combats. We'll start off up at the top, and we have Bane against a knight and his spear support. And Bane is not as good as I expected him to be. Having just checked his profile again, he's only got 1 attack. He's quite hard to kill. He's got 2 wounds, 2 fate, so he's going to save his 1 might. He's not going to strike. He is just going to fight it. He's going to go brave and hope that he can win. Ooh, he gets a draw. Does he spend his might on trying to win the fight and survive? Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. He spends his point of might. He's needing a 6 to kill. No, he doesn't get the kill. But at least he didn't take any wounds. We'll then come across here for the 2-on-2. It goes on a draw there to the forces of good. It's now 5s to wound. Oh, and they get the kill. That axeman is dead. The next 2-on-2. Ooh, this time goes to the forces of the survivors of Laketown. 6s to kill, and they kill. So the spearman makes way. He backs off, but he takes an axe to the face. The shield wall here faring evenly so far. Another 2-on-2. Oh, and again it goes to the survivors. Another 6, and it is another 6. The shield wall is crumbling. Wow, that is not what the Fiefdoms need here. 2-on-2 for the knights to redeem themselves. They win on the draw. 5s to kill. No, they don't get it. They got off to a fairly good start, but now things are looking bad for their martial prowess. The last fight then. 2-on-2 again. Oh, and again it does go to the Fiefdoms. Can they get this kill? Yes. So that spearman backs away. We'll just sort her out. And he is dead. That's fairly even there, although the numbers are definitely not in Fiefdom's favour. They cannot afford to take casualties like that again. And then we come to the final fight. It is Bard against Forlong. Bard has 3 attacks. Forlong just has the 2. Oh, and it's a draw. And now that the kids are dead, it is even fight 5. Oh, it's a roll off. 1, 2, or 3. It is Bard on a 4+. It goes to good, but it doesn't on the 1. It goes to Bard. Can he get some vengeance on Forlong? He is going to be wounding Forlong on 5s. Forlong's taken 1 wound, so he's got 2 wounds, 1 fate. He's probably going to have to go for the long game and go for his horse, although at this stage it's not looking too good on this flank. He's going to go for gold. He's going to go for straight 5+s on all of these and kill Forlong outright. No, he does not. Abysmal work there from Bard. If he spent 3 points of might, he could risk it on the fate roll. No. No wounds there to Forlong. He backs away, and Bard is also unharmed. And that then is the end of the turn. End of turn 5. This is how we're looking. The lines have clashed and fallen up at the top. The knights have trampled down the survivors of Laketown, but they are faring much better down at the bottom. Let's roll for turn 6 priority. And it goes to the Fiefdoms. With good having priority, Bard is calling a heroic move. He's still got some numbers around him. If he can tie up these cavalry, he can start to claw things back. Forlong is going to use his last point of might to counter. So roll off. Oh, and on the 2, it does go to Bard. After that heroic move, Bard has just charged into 1 and Forlong. Imrahil is trapped, and then Couple have managed to tag as many of the cavalry as possible. We'll come back after the knights have moved. End of turn 6 movement. Bard's heroic has managed to tag most of these knights, with the 2 at the top being the only ones free to make charges. Down with the infantry fights, the forces of the Fiefdoms have managed to engage in as many favourable fights as possible, while the archers have then piled in against them. The survivors of Laketown trying to overwhelm down at the bottom and just survive up at the top. There's no shooting, we'll go straight into the combats. Start of the combat phase, and Bard is going to heroic strike. We'll start off with the combat up here. We have that charging knight against a shielding militiaman. The militiaman wins. The knight does have the banner effect from Imrahil, which doesn't help him win the fight. That knight's charge has been stopped. We then have another charging knight, and on the draw he wins, but Bard does provide a banner of his own, which is ineffective. Both of these banners have been fairly useless. This is on a charge, so he's needing not a lot, but more than a 3. It's double strikes, that 4 will be enough, because it's 5s, and then +1 with the lance. He has killed him. We don't have a one-on-one because this was part of the heroic move, so no charge bonus there for the knight, but it goes to the knight anyway, and he has the fight value. Nothing that guy can do, but he survives and is pushed back. We then have, he's been knocked out of combat. We then have here this 2-on-1. The warrior is not going to shield, he's going to go brave. Ooh, he's lost, he's got the banner, and it's a 1 into a 1. He has lost, he goes down on 5s, and he's dead. He sacrificed himself there so that Forlong and Bard would be able to just fight by themselves without the interference of that knight. We'll do that fight now. We'll do 2 for Forlong against 3 for Bard. Oh, and Forlong has lost. Forlong does benefit with the army bonus. He benefits from Imrahil's banner, but it makes no difference. Bard is going again after Forlong, needing 5s. Abysmal. Not even enough to kill his horse if he'd gone for it. Bard unable to take out Forlong. He's tried his best, but unable to do anything. It's now 3 on Imrahil's 3. Imrahil really needs to win this because he's trapped. He's got the 6. Absolutely loving it. 5s to kill these guys. Oh, and he kills 2 of them. That is impressive work there from Imrahil. He's not on the charge, so he's not got any bonuses. But that is very, very good work there. That cavalry charge has been unbelievable. We then come to the fight down at the bottom. We'll start off with Bane and his friend against 2. Bane's out of might. So, oh dear, he loses the fight there. He is very low defense. I think he is as low as defense 4, which will be 5s to wound. No. He is fine and backs away. This fight then is 2 on 3. Amazingly, those Blackroot Vale archers at fight 3 have fight value advantage. They're only fight value 2, those survivors. Oh, but it is not gonna make a difference there as the archers roll low and these are wounding on 5s. And he is dead. The spear support backs away to make way, but the archer goes down. We then have here a 3 on 1. So the chap is going to shield against 3 from the Fiefdoms. Oh, he's lost. Is he going to die on a 5? Yes, he is. He is dead. He wouldn't have to back away. We then have here a 2. Yep, a 2 on 1. And the knight is not going to shield. He's going to rely on his armour if he wins. He's got the fight value. Oh, and it pays off. On the draw, he wins. And he is wounding on 5s. Oh, not enough to wound. Firebrand and the spearman there back away. We then have another 2 on 1. Oh, in fact 3 with that spear support, but again he is going to go brave, and it pays off with the 6. Absolutely amazing work there from him. He has won, and he's going to be killing on 5s, and he's got one. Will kill the outermost archer, and he backs away. That is definitely the result that the Fiefdoms want there. They need as many kills as they can get to hold the line, as their camp is not too far away. End of turn 6, and up at the top the knights have decimated the force of survivors there, and the survivors are now broken. However, Bard is still fighting strong, and down at the bottom the superior skill of the Fiefdoms is only going so far, as they are starting to get overwhelmed. It's still anyone's game as we go into turn 7 priority. Oh, and it's a draw. So it goes to the Fiefdoms. Oh no, they had it last. It goes to the survivors. Survivors priority. So Bane is going to take his courage test. Oh, and it's a 4. That is not good for Bane. He is courage 4. He's going to have to spend 2 of his 3 points of will to keep him in the fight there. That is not good, but it does mean that he's able to quite comfortably move to behind all his men and keep them all in the fight with his courage. And then up here, Bard automatically passes because he is Hero of Legend and it's the very first break. So Bard just engages here. This chap goes in to Imrahil, and this chap goes in there, just tagging them all down. And then the chap at the top is going to take his courage test and pass. So he is going after him, and he's tagging both of those. Then we'll come back after the movement down here. End of turn 7 movement, and Bane down here has kept all of his boys in the fight, and they have surrounded as many as they can and have just charged what they were able to. There's a couple of fights that aren't too great for them, but they've managed to trap and surround quite a few of the Fiefdoms. Up here, things are not looking good, but Bard at least isn't too vulnerable, and the knights have all, except for this chap, been charged, so at least there are no lance bonuses or charge bonuses. That's how we're looking. There's no shooting, so we'll go straight into the combat phase. Start of combats, and Bard is going to call a heroic strike. He is striking up to 10, which means he will be able to feint, getting him re-rolling 1s there, and even dropping 3, he'll still be a higher fight value than Forlong. We'll do that fight now. Forlong is the big blue dice. His knight friend is the green. Bard in red. Ooh! Bard loses the fight. He does have 1 point of might left, which he is going to have to spend. Bard now out of might. He doesn't want to give away any VPs taking wounds. So he is going to go after Forlong. He's desperate to get that kill. He has done 1 wound. Ooh, if he'd not spent that might, he'd have been able to get a second. Forlong there taking 2 wounds, leaving him with just 1 and a point of fate. Forlong still in the fight. Bard unable to bring him down. We'll do this fight next. It's a charging knight. 2 that were unable to charge against a shielding warrior. Militia there. So it's 4 on 2. Oh dear. There's the Bard reroll. That was actually the knocked one. So it goes to the Fiefdoms. There's 1. And killed. Although we'll roll them again. It was off camera. There we go. Even trying our best to keep the warriors alive there. They're still going down. Then we have a 1-on-1. The militia wins, but does not kill. He backs away, and then we have Imrahil. Imrahil against 1. Is that 1 going to risk it? Yeah, he's going to risk it. He's going to stab, because if by some miracle he can get a wound, that is VPs. Oh, he loses, but there's the banner. It's a draw. He loses on fight value. There's no way he can beat Imrahil, and Imrahil kills him. 1 closer to 25%. The fighting up there is going from bad to worse for Bard, and we'll come down now to the fighting at the bottom. Fights down here. The survivors of Laketown need to kill. They need to kill quick. So he is going to stab against these 2. It's all or nothing now for the survivors, but he has lost. He goes down on 5s and he is dead. Stabbing made no difference there. Here we've got a more favourable fight for the survivors. It's 2 on 2. But they lose. They're just struggling there to win the fights with their low fight value. Oh, and dead. Even the archers now are getting their fill of the kills. The survivors unable to do what they need to do. We then have a 2-on-1. That guy is going to he's going to stab, even though it's just a firebrand. He loses anyway. And the 2 needing 5s don't kill him, just the stab. No. He backs away. And the next fight, we'll do this one here. 2-on-1. Oh, it's the wrong way round on the dice there. It is 2-on-1. They win. Can they kill? They only need 5s. No, they can't. And he backs away. The next fight is this one here, because he is trapped. And it is the survivor's priority. So it's 2 on... Is he going to shield? Yes, he's going to shield because he's trapped. And he wins the fight on the draw and pushes them back. We then have here another chap who's trapped. This time against 3. And he wins it on the draw. Absolutely hands down there. Smashes that. No problems for him with double 6. End of turn 7. Things are looking bleak now for the survivors. They've got the numbers down at the bottom, but up at the top, they have been obliterated. Can Bard hold on? Let's find out in turn 8. Oh, it's a draw. So this time it goes to the Fiefdoms. End of turn 8 movement, and down here everything has been charged in the least favourable fights possible for fiefdoms so that they don't accidentally quarter the survivors of Laketown. They're risking taking some casualties, but hopefully they can shield as many of these as possible and survive. Up here, Bard is in a lot of trouble. He's not got the fight value and he is getting overwhelmed. This last chap has been charged, and then up here, 2 knights are going for the camp. The survivors of Laketown have left them alone because at the moment they still outnumber the 2 knights, so they still hold the camp. They are obviously passing all courage tests because they are in their home base. That's how we are looking at the moment. There's no shooting. We'll go straight into combat. Actually, we tell a lie. There is 1 shot. The loyal, brave archer there is going to take a shot at that first knight. It's a hit on a 6. Is he going to hit horse or rider? It's the rider. A 6 to kill. Oh, it's a 2. Bounces off his shield. That knight is fine. Now we're going into the combats. First off then, we'll do this fight here. It's Bane against a shielding knight, and the knight wins, pushing them back. We then have 2 on 1. The knight shielding, and he wins again. Again, it's another 2 on 2. Can the knight win? Yes, he pushes them back. Now we have some 1-on-1s. And these guys are stabbing. He's won. Will he kill? No, he doesn't kill. Again, stabbing, and the Swan Knight is going to shield. And lose. Stabbing is the way forward. Needing 6s, re-rolling 1s. No, just a 2. Again, stabbing against the ranger there. Oh, he's not a ranger, he's a Blackroot Vale archer. Oh, stabbing again, wins the fight, re-rolling 1s, but the 5 gets him. That is a kill for the survivors there. We then have another 1-on-1. It's a draw, so it actually goes to the Blackroot Vale archer. He's got a fight value of 3. Survivors are only fight 2, and the survivor goes down, getting them closer to the 25% mark. Up here, we have the charging knight against the militia, and the militia is going to stab. At this point, he needs to die. The Fiefdoms are on track for getting a nasty win here if the game continues. So that survivor there is going to take one for the team. Yes, he is on the 1. Will the knight kill him? Yes, on the 4. He goes down. And then it is just the big fight here. Bard needs to survive this, and the game needs to end for him to have the best possible chance of winning, although I think it is probably over at this point. So Bard, here we go. He gets the 6. He set a high bar there of 6. So Imrahil doesn't get the 6. The 2 knights don't get a 6. And then Forlong, no. There is still a banner reroll. And there's no 6 there. Bard has won. All the odds against him, he has won. And he is going to ignore his vendetta against the Forlong the Fat, and he's going straight for Imrahil. Wounding on 6s. He has put a wound on Imrahil. His first fate fails. Second fate passes. That's 2 fate off Imrahil. Not a bad result there for Bard. End of turn 8, and the survivors of Laketown are in a very nasty situation here. They're just trying to deny as many victory points as possible to the Fiefdoms. Although Bard is still going strong, fighting away, desperate to claw victory out of the jaws of defeat. Let's see if he can do it with turn 9 priority. Oh, it goes to Imrahil. End of turn 9 movement, and things are not going well for the survivors of Laketown. Bard has been charged. The knight has gone in to the camp. He's just in 12, and then here the knights have charged into the archers and Alfred. Then from bad to worse, down here, a lot of poor fights for the survivors of Laketown as many of their fellow warriors fled. This is going to be the last turn as they are now quartered. Let's go into the combats and see if the survivors can get at least a moral victory and get some spike kills going on in this last turn. We'll start off with Bane and a friend against this warrior here, this knight. He is going to fight normally. He's got the fight value and he's brave. Oh, he's lost. Bane is only fight 3, so it's 6s for both of them. No. He backs away. Absolutely fine. The next fight is this 2-on-1. And that chap is just going to stab. Oh, he's won. He is needing 6s, but re-rolling 1s. Here we go. Oh, it's a 5. So close, and he was just spear supporting. The next fight is, it's a 4-on-1. Again, he is going to stab. It's the last turn. There's no point in trying to prolong it. He fails miserably on the 2. He doesn't go down on the first lot, but he's trapped. He does go down to the second lot of blows there. Stabbed many times. He falls into the dust. Can the yellow rain-cap archer do any better? He's going to stab against the archer. It's an archer duel. Oh, and on a draw, it goes to the Blackroot Vale archer, the Fiefdoms, but he is unable to kill him. Does his stabbing damage kill him? No, it doesn't. He's absolutely fine. And then we come up to the camp. These important combats here. We've got 2 on an archer who's not going to stab. He needs to stay alive. Oh, he's got the 6. Oh, and so has the knight. And the knight wins it on fight value. He is wounding on 5s down to 4s with the lance. Double attacks because he's knocked him down and he's absolutely slaughtered him. It's now Alfred and an archer. They need to win this. Alfred is the big dice because he is unarmed. That's -1. Ooh, but they've won. Absolutely massive there. Needing a 6 on the red dice to kill the guy. It's a 5. Needing a 6 because it's -1 as well to kill the horse from Alfred. No. Because Alfred would have been unable to kill the man there. So that is more fiefdoms than survivors in the camp. That is not good for the survivors. Can the fiefdoms kill Bard, or will he stay strong to the end? Bard is going to set the bar again. He's got another mighty 6. Let's do Imrahil first. Can Imrahil match it? He can't. Will the 2 friends? No. Will Forlong No, and a reroll. No, unbelievable. Bard on the 6 again has smashed back Imrahil and co. An unbelievable showing there from Bard. He's going for Imrahil again. Oh, this time no wounds. Couldn't quite do it, but surviving that was absolutely incredible work there from Bard. End of turn 9 and the end of the game. That was a brutal cavalry charge from the knights, and it just never stopped, ploughing all the way through to the enemy camp. The loyal clansman down in the Fiefdoms camp is still holding that camp. And with 3 knights in the enemy camp and only 2 of the survivors of Laketown, that camp has been claimed as well, which is 6 victory points to Fiefdoms for having both of the camps in their possession. They also broke the enemy for another 3 because they were also unbroken. In fact, only losing 5 models. They lost 2 knights on foot, 1 on horse and 2 archers. Finally, neither of the heroes took a wound, although Bard did his absolute best to kill Imrahil at the end. So that is a 9-0 victory to the Fiefdoms. A good game that could have gone either way at certain points, but just ran away with itself for the Fiefdoms. They gathered momentum and their knights were unstoppable. MVPs for the game have to be Bard. As much as he failed really to make much of a dent, he survived right to the very last moment, nearly wounding Imrahil and doing a good job of not dying, unlike the rest of his force. Imrahil is probably the Fiefdoms MVP. He was incredible, punching through the line, coming around, killing the children to stop all of those buffs from supercharging Bard and managing to keep him penned in and stop him from doing his work. Although another potential candidate for MVP is Forlong, who tanked the might of Bard for a good solid number of turns and survived to tell the tale. This Forlong the Fat model is a conversion. If you're interested in seeing how it was made, there is a video on the channel that explains that process. He's very rough and ready, but he was very quick to make. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.